This is video 4 of the Cadet Training Plan Template Instructional series. In this video, we will continue the demonstration of the completion of the PO wizards following your training period's day selections, which was covered in the previous video. In this next step, you need to select 30 periods of complementary training for each training level or phase. And you do that down here at step 3, and we begin by clicking on the Complementary Training Selections button. Before we do that, you can see that we haven't completed this step. Note for year 2, we'll be taking a look at this 3 periods that was pre-assigned when we were doing the training period selections there. But we'll click in here, and what we can see is that this EO selection screen works much like the screen that you already use for the training periods day selections, the only difference being that there's nothing to assign to a particular day. We have the level filter, and we click on that and we select the training level or phase that we want to work with. And we have the same PO filter controls. We can view all POs, or we can select a particular PO to start with. I'm going to begin down here at leadership. The EOs for that PO are then displayed, and the selections, then I go in and I look at what EOs that I want to have. I'm going to pick all 3 of these ones. As I select them, they become shaded in purple, and then over here on the right hand side they are displayed, and you notice we have the counter boxes. We need 30, and so far we have 4 selected. Then you just continue your selections. I'm going to go on to PO 104. There's one EO here that I would like to have, and so on. And as you make your EO selections, they continue to populate in the list on the right hand side. Something that I want to show you here in this PO, for example, has something called flexible periods, and if there is text in this box right here, this EO has it, this one does not. That means where that text is, that means that this EO has a flexible number of periods, and you can select less than the maximum number of periods that this EO has. So you begin by selecting the EO, and you can see this drop down box here is highlighted, and I can choose whatever number of periods that I want of this EO that is less than the maximum, or if I want all of them, that's fine too. And then I move on to the next PO. I just keep selecting the content that I want to have. Here's another one with flexible content. I have 4 EOs left to go. I'll just pick some videos here, and that'll do me just fine. So as you can see, once you have your 30, the totals boxes turn green, and you are ready then to proceed on to the next training year. You go back to the level filter as I did and select your next training year and make your selections. Now here we are in year 2, and if you remember from the previous video, we did pre-select 3 periods of C105 for the parade night training sessions, and so those appear here and they're ready and waiting, and those 3 periods come off of the 30 then that we had to select, or they add to that, but it's already selected, so I only need to pick 27 more periods, and the process then continues the same as we've demonstrated. You simply select the EOs that you want, move on to the next PO, make your selections, and as you do so, the EOs count up. As you work towards your total that you need. And this is good. It shows you, it flags you with little content limitations that you have to be aware of and abide by that are contained in the QSP. So I've got my 30 periods right here, and then I would move on to the next level or phase, and we continue until the EO selections are done for all levels and phases years 1 to 4. Right now I'm just going to hit the return button, go back to our summary screen and show you our progress. We've got the content selections done for years 1 and 2. As you can see, when we were off camera, we did the training periods day selections for years 3 and 4. And we're going to go off camera again and complete these level selections for level 3 and 4, and then we're going to come back and do the complementary training choice. And we're back, and as you can see, we've completed all of our EO selections, and we've got 30 periods of complementary EOs selected for years 1 to 4, and that's all turned green. Everything on the summary screen has turned green, and we're ready to move on to the Complementary Training Choice tab up here. We've got some different options for each element. We're going to begin with the air, move on to the Army and the sea. Here we have the Comp Training Choice screen, and you access your complementary training day and weekend options by clicking on this button. And for your element, the choices are displayed. Here we have the choices for the air element, and the air element simply has to pick any 2 days from the following options. As you make choices, here I'm going to pick 1 day of complementary field training. So as you make those choices, then the box filters to show you your remaining choices. And I pick my 2 days and I hit continue. I come back to my main screen here. It shows me that my choices have been selected. Now for the days that I've selected, the air have some additional screens to visit to select content that go with these 2 days. We'll do a quick demonstration of these 2 forms just to show how they work. For the elemental training form on the elemental day, again, you have to pick 9 EOs for each training level. And the content selection works exactly like the screens that you've already been using. You pick your training level that you want to initially work with. You've got your PO filter selections here, and you simply select the EOs that you want to work with. They become shaded here and populate in the list to the right, and the totals boxes start counting for each level as you make your selections, and you continue on to your next PO. And you just make your selections, and as you complete the day, the total box turns green, and at this point you would move on to your next training year, and you would continue accordingly until all the selections have been made for all 4 levels 1 to 4. That gives you a basic demonstration of how that form works for the elemental day. Next, we have to make our content selections for our single day in the field training, and you select the complementary field form button, and up comes the selection screen here. Notice we've got the EOs here, we've got a scroll bar, all the content is displayed for years 1 to 4, and we have the totals buttons at the bottom for each training level. I like to work with 1 level at a time, so I use the level filter that filters out the content of the other years and just displays the active year. And you select the EOs that you want to have. In this case, we've got 9 EOs total content available for year 1, and I've selected it all, and I've got my total of 9 periods down here at the bottom. And then I move on to the next training level, which is level 2. And I make my selections. You can select up to 9 EOs for a day. And then you would go on to level 3. You can see there's quite a bit of content selections available in level 3. So it's indicated here. I've got my 9 periods selected and I'm done. So okay, great. It's keeping me on track. I select OK. And I move on to my final level. And I would just continue on until all 4 levels are complete, but that concludes our demonstration of these 2 forms for the air element in making those EO selections. The status screen always lets us know what's complete, what's not complete, and we wouldn't normally want to leave the screen before all these boxes were green. At this point though, we're going to move on and show you the other 2 elements and their complementary training choices. And here we have the screen for the Complementary Training Choice for the Army. As you can see, it's a simple choice between 1 weekend of Complementary Adventure Training or 1 weekend of Complementary Cold Weather Training, and you simply select one or the other and click Continue. And here we have the Complementary Training Choice for the Sea. Again, they have a choice between one of 2 weekends, 1 weekend of participating in nautical activities, or 1 weekend of small craft / vessel duties while underway. Simply choose one or the other and click Continue when finished. And we're back to our air unit example on the Complementary Training Choice screen, and you can see once again we've completed our training choice selections off camera, and all of our boxes are green, and that would indicate that you're ready to move on from this screen. While we're here, I just want to take a moment to show you the Year 5 tab for the PO Wizards. What you need to do is you have to schedule in the PO scheduler the Year 5 mandatory POs before you can really do anything in this screen. But just to point out that this tab is here, and this is where you would enter your Year 5 cadets. And once entered, it will allow you to make the complementary choices for their self-study packages here. We'll be demonstrating that when we do the Year 5 instructional video. One final thing to point out before we move on is this is where you would also view the Year 5 Cadet Workshop date and location. This is a workshop that is hosted by the RCSU. It's a 2-day weekend event, and the date would appear here for that is assigned to your unit and your Year 5 cadets. At this point, you have completed the wizard setup screens, and you're ready to move on in the template. In our next video, we will be demonstrating the supported training days scheduler.